Blurblay. Borb Netbadoo. Pilor, Pilor. Uh-huh. Shemzimi Do. Bayasata. Vidor. Favug. Wanita.
So, sorry about that and my bad acting skills, but I thought of doing a cosplay costume that was pretty ingenious and pretty simple by just making a Plumbob and sticking it on your head and walking around a con like that. You could wear anything. You could actually wear a full-on costume. You could wear a t-shirt and jeans. But basically, your imagination is the only limit that you have for this costume. So if you stay tuned, I'll show you how to make it and where you can get the patterns as well. So I've linked down in the bio basically where you can get this pattern off of Pinterest. But you're going to need that pattern plus some cardstock paper. Go ahead and trace your pattern exactly the way it is when you print it off. Do this 2 times, just like this. And now here comes the fun part of cutting it out. Next, we're going to go ahead and score the fold lines. So grab something that you can press into, like a notebook, or I've got a book right here. Something that has a little bit of give. You're also going to want some kind of styling tool. A ballpoint pen will work, a sculpting pen, something with a rough edge on it that won't penetrate through the paper. So don't use something like an awl. That's going to go right through the paper. I used a ruler to basically push an indent onto all the fold lines so that it would make it a lot easier and a lot crisper to fold, as you can see here. Now once you're done scoring all the fold lines, what we're going to have to do now is actually find the center of each of these hexagons. This is going to serve 2 purposes. One, to be a stabilization area for our zip tie that we're going to use later, and also to cut out some weight on this one, basically to find center, and you don't have to worry about anything being in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this center octagon, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. Now comes for the fun part of folding our Plumbob diamond for each part. Go ahead and fold along each of the lines that you've already pre-scored. Now this part you don't have to do. I did use a hole punch to find the center and make it a cleaner, easier, basically a center point, so I don't have to dig a hole into it. And you can use any kind of glue to put these together. I went ahead and used hot glue, but please, please, please be very, very careful with it, as it is hot glue. It is, like it says, very hot. You want to make sure that you hold your pieces together until they cool down to be able to activate the adhesion that it has. Because again, it is hot glue. It is not water-based, so it will cool, not dry. I found it a lot easier to glue each of the tabs down with your hot glue and then just hold it for a little bit to align it and also let it cool to be able to do the next one. Do this all the way around and to also both Plumbob halves. Until you have just like this, a top and a bottom. There's your top and here's your bottom. Now you're also going to need a headband. I have put in the description where you can get these off of Amazon, but you'll also need a zip tie and some form of wire. I'm using floral wire, but you can use pretty much any kind of soft gauge wire that you can bend. So go ahead and take your two parts that you have and set them aside for just a moment while you go ahead and attach the zip tie to the headband. You want to make sure that this is on very, very, very snug, because you don't want this moving around on your head once it's finished. Also, try to get it into the center as much as possible. Again, you want this to be floating over your head and the center. This is why I have two. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off to add a little bit more stability to the zip tie that is currently there by putting them both face to face and then wrapping them with wire. Not only will this stabilize it, but the wire will make it stiffer as well and give it more strength so it doesn't flop around while it's on your head. And you can wrap the wire however you feel is comfortable for you. I put it around as many times as I could to add stability and strength to these two zip ties. Okay, go ahead and grab your bottom part, and there's the little hole that we made. Go ahead and nip a little piece off the bottom so you can get the zip tie through the point. You can use scissors, I just happen to have these little clips. Then slide this onto your zip tie and then find the hole at the very top and have it come out the top, as shown here. I did add a little bit of hot glue to the bottom, just basically so it doesn't slide up and down, as you can see here. But again, be very careful. It is hot glue. Again, it's going to burn your fingers. A little trick that I found out using hot glue is you can always lick your finger first before you touch it, and that prevents the hot glue from sticking to you and burning you. Now go ahead and take the top and find your best alignment, and then hot glue your top part to the bottom of the Plumbob. Hold the two pieces together until the glue cools. I did go back and fill some of the cracks with the hot glue. Again, I did lick my finger to basically not have the hot glue stick to my finger as I smoothed it out, as shown. And once you've done all sides, you have your Plumbob. And you can decorate this however you want. I'm going to use some glitter and some spray paint, basically making it nice and shiny. But please, if you're using any adhesives or spray paint, do take it outside. Found it also helpful to set up your glitter first, so that when you spread it over the top of the wet spray paint, it basically uses itself as a glue, as shown here. By the way, don't come at me in the comments that I did this in my backyard. And ta-da! There's your Plumbob. Now place it on something so it can dry, and you're done. And ready to have some fun.